Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to do the Retiform technique. This is the first one that I made, which I was quite pleased with, except I should have used very vanilla cardstock. I used white all the way through, but I was pleased with the actual result. So the next one I did was with very vanilla, and I think that's probably better suited for it, but I'm not going to do that one for the video because I've used 6 different stamp sets there, which is not ideal when it comes to making videos. The colour on this one, I have used Crumb Cake, Sahara Sand and Nice Navy. The one that I'm going to be doing now is I'm using one stamp set for all the images. The Happy Birthday comes from a different one. Colour scheme I've used here is the Crumb Cake and also the Sahara Sand. I'll be using those again, but I'm going to change this colour from Call Me Clover to Shaded Spruce, 2 of our new colours. And the only other difference I'm doing is I am cutting the top layer down to this size, so it's got that size gap around it rather than that size. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. A very vanilla card base which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimeters, scored and folded at 10.5 centimeters. And then you'll need 2 pieces of Crumb Cake which measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.5 by 13.6 centimeters, and then 2 pieces of very vanilla cardstock which measure 3 5/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches, which is 9.2 by 13.3. And then you need a scrap of very vanilla and a scrap of Crumb Cake just to do the sentiment. Right, so I'm going to start with that piece, and I'm going to bring over a scrap. First colour I'm going to be using is Crumb Cake. I really should have re-inked this last night, but I didn't, and it's always a dodgy thing to do, to re-ink immediately before a video. So I'm working with a fairly dry ink pad here, and it's better to have one that's a bit on the dry side rather than a bit on the juicy side. So I'm using one of our finger daubers with the Crumb Cake, and I'm also using a piece of cardstock which must be at least long enough to go diagonally across here. I'm using soft blue purely and simply, well, 2 reasons. One, I like soft blue, and secondly because it's a retiring colour, so I'm not actually wasting any of my current cardstock. So there are no measurements for the way you do your lines. The only thing I would say is to get the sponged bits facing each other. That probably means absolutely nothing, but I will show you when I do the second line. So I'm just going to place this on at an angle, and with my dauber I am going to sponge down the edge there. Now you just need to make sure that wherever you put your cardstock you must hold it very, very firmly. You don't want it to move. Okay, so just a little circular motion. Just work your way down the side of your piece of cardstock. Now this is not a precise method at all. The only thing that is precise is that you do want nice straight lines when you move your cardstock away. But you don't have to worry about whether this is a straight line or not. Okay, so beautiful straight line that side. Now to do the line on this side, turn your cardstock round because where I said you need your sponged side facing each other, this is what I mean. So I'm going to be sponging down here, so the sponge is going to be facing that sponge and the clear line is going to be on the outside. So again, no measurements. I'm not saying whether you should have that like that or like that like that. It really is entirely up to you. I have a lady in my team who has been doing a lot of cards recently like this, and she has come up with some absolutely stunning effects. She goes under the name of Nana, and she does have a Facebook page, which I think, if I remember correctly, is Nana's Crafty Corner. I will double check on that, and I will put a link to her Facebook page in the box below the video. Do go and have a look, see her work. Okay, so there's that one. So now I've got my two straight lines on the outside and both the spongy bits on the inside. Now I'm going to do that the same for the next two lines. Again, I'm going to do diagonal line, and I'm holding this down very, very firmly. And this is the fourth card that I've done today, so my arm is beginning to ache a bit. But this really is such an effective technique, and I think the cards that you can make with this is probably the easiest masculine card that you could make. Now that's a little bit on the big side, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to bring this one in. Again, I'm going to make sure my sponge side is facing that sponged side. As you can see, because my ink pad is really quite dry, it's taking quite a lot to get some colour to go on here. So there we go. That's fine. That's going to work beautifully. So next I am going to use one of these sponges. This is from, we sell a pack of 3 of these, and I cut them into 4 into quarters, and then I use this bit here. Again, my Sahara sand ink pad is really quite dry, but with a little patience I have managed to get there. Just get rid of that. And all I'm going to do is go all the way over just to take off the brightness of the Very Vanilla. Now, because we're going to be stamping over all of these sections, again, you don't need to worry about being precise with this. Just make sure that you tone the colour down, the brightness of the Very Vanilla. I mean, in a lot of techniques, I would be horrified to have that like half circle there and that one. But once everything is done, it will be hardly noticeable. I will try and remember to tell you the 6 different stamp sets I used for the blue ones, and I will also post photographs of the cards on my blog on the day that I published the video. Oh, I didn't show you the insides either, did I? In fact, I don't think I did the inside of the tree. I'll have to do that one later. There we go. So that's taken away all the natural berry vanilla. So you can see why this looked a bit odd when I put it onto, it started off as white cardstock and I'd put it onto a white card base. Why I thought I really should have used berry vanilla. Now I'm going to use post-it pads to section off each area, and I recommend, I know it's probably going to sound quite extravagant, but I do recommend that you use a different piece each section. The reason I say that is because I don't know if you can see there where I have some green which came off of a post-it note where I had already stamped on another piece, and for the sake of using an extra bit of a post-it pad, I wished I had have done. Right, so where shall I start? I tend to have that up at the top, although I didn't on the green one, did I? I don't know whether you noticed that or not. See, that one's coming down like that. That one's going up. And that one's going up as well. And another thing to notice, one of the things I had to go back to the video because I didn't notice it at first, but not only is the stamped area all in there, it left these 4 totally clear. I'm going to confuse you if I say too much about that. Anyway, let's carry on. It really doesn't matter which image you do where, but what I tend to do, because once I've done it, I think to myself, oh, what did I do in that section? So I tend to put my stamps in front of me in the order that I've done them, so that I don't forget. So every section, put your post-it note by your straight line. Now this was my biggest square, so I'm going to use my biggest stamp, which is that one. Let me just show you on the front here. Okay, so it's that one there that I'm going to be using. And ink. Right, new ink pads, lift up like a compact and just slide that in. Now on this bit you just stamp whichever section you want. Now I'm going to go for this area here because I want it to look like a complete tree. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as my centre stamp. Now I'm going to come to this section here. I've just done what I told you not to do. I've reused that, so I might find that the ink comes off. So this one, I am going to use this stamp, and it's this one here. Now this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp more than once. So if you choose a stamp or a stamp set that has smaller images in them, you can do the image more than once. Okay, so I've done that 3 times so far. I'm just going to do another one in here. Let's do it sideways, I think. And that's another thing, you don't have to do them the right way up. I'm not going to do that one again, won't use that again. Lucky. So I'm going to put another one there. My post-it note doesn't come quite down to the end. Can you see me? Yep. So do that right to the edge, and then you can still reuse that one up there. Same with that one. It was only that little bit that's not covered, and I need one across here as well. There we go. And for this one, I think I will use well, that one I didn't put that in position, that should go underneath that. Shall I use this one, the single tree? I think so. Oh yes. Right, okay, we'll do that one. And I want to show the tree trunk in this as well. There we go, that's good. So I've done all down one side. Let's pop that there. No, that one can go. Too much on that as well. That can go. Okay, that is very clumsy. Look at that. I'm going to cut that bit off. But before I do that, I will finish doing what I'm working on this, because I might do that again. Do I need long, or shall I just use short? Right, if I do long down here, then I can use just little ones to go across. Again, let's cover that one up. And that one. So. Now I know you can't see them, but over here, because I've put my stamps in the way that I've stamped them, I can remember what my design is like here. So I've got a big tree there and a tree there, so I think I want a leaf and a leaf there, and a leaf and a leaf, and then trees in the middle. There we go. So we have 2 different kinds of leaves. So in this one here, I'm going to use the triple leaves. And again, this one I'm going to do a couple of times. And I'll turn this one round again on its side. That's good. So this I will use in that corner up there as well, so they're diagonally opposite. So that one comes there. Not big enough. So for my square there, I'm going to use a different kind of leaf, and I'm going to use this one. And again, I think I will do 2 of these. Not quite sure what kind of leaf that is meant to be. There we go. Ah, that's a good idea. I wonder if I can cover that up. Let's just do this one here. And I think I said I was going to do this as a tree, didn't I? So I'm going to use a single tree here, the one that looks a bit like a Christmas tree, well, it's a pine tree. There we go. This is a nice colour, I like this shaded spruce. Okay. Isn't it lovely? I think this is absolutely brilliant technique. So let's cover this bit up. I'm doing them, the three, one after the other, because I didn't want to keep having to redo my post-it notes. I mean, it's quite a long technique to do for a video anyway. Leaves, I'm going to use the three, that one. Right. I want to cover that up, don't I? Oh, well done, look at that. What a result. Let's do one in here as well. So I won't be cutting that bit off now. Right, that can go. Now I think I said this was a tree, didn't I? So this tree I will do as a double. So that's that one. And I think I will do this twice as well. There's that one. And then I'll move this over. Like that. Didn't do that too well. I have to make sure that when I put the ribbon around the centre it goes over that bit. Now just two more pieces. One to cover that one up. And one to cover up that bit. And these are going to be more leaves. Not that one. I'm going to use this one. There we go. Now, I think that's all of them done, isn't it? There we go. So, I think that's okay to put some ribbon over. Where's my ribbon? Here we go. Yeah, that's going to be brilliant. So, there we go. That's how the technique is done. Now to put the card together. On the inside of the card, I'm going to stamp a tree down here. In fact, no, I'm going to use that leaf. In fact, saying that, yes, I did do the inside, I thought I had. Okay, so I did that leaf on the inside of that one. This one, I did the waders. Right, so I'm going to do the leaves on there. There we go. There we go. I pop that to one side and I'm going to put that onto my crumb cake, and I'm going to be using my tear and tape, which is flavour of the month for the time being. If you're using ink pads which are quite juicy, once you've finished doing the sponging, both lots of sponging, put your layer your cardstock on one side to give it a few minutes to dry and make your sentiment the next job that you do, so that the time it takes to make your sentiment, you'll find that your sponging will all be nice and dry. Oops. Because, oh, what are you doing? Because my ink pad is quite dry, it wasn't an issue for me. Let's close that up because we've finished with that now. So to close the new ones is I use my finger there to give that a bit of a push and then pull on this side. But there's a bit of fluff on there. Oh no, tweezers. That's better. I can see just the other bits on there. I will do that after the video. If I rest that on there, which I never do, that'll make me stop and think, why is it on there? That'll remind me to do it. I'm getting green on my hand somewhere. That must be off the ink pad. I don't mind this side because it's just the back, but I hope I haven't done anything on the front. No, I think that's all right. There we go. Right, I'm going to get rid of that now. And next job, I'm going to put my ribbon on here, and all I'm going to do is just a little piece going across, and I'm going to adhere it at the back. Alright, where possible I already put the tape on the back of my cards before I start making a video. Now I know that I want that on there. So what I do is I just lift that up lay that over, put that back down again, and then for the other one I use my grid paper. Take that back for a minute, and I make sure that I line that up on the dark line there, and I make sure this is all nice and straight. So then I know that I have to line this part of the ribbon up as well. So there we go, nice and straight, and pop that back. Right, I'm just going to move these stamps out of the way. I can see me putting my arm into it or something. Move that one out of the way. Right, so on my card, I'm going to pop this onto the front. Just make sure you don't do it upside down. I'm sure that's got to be quite an easy mistake to make. upside down, upside down. Does that look straight? I think so. Should we go for it? And then the two pieces fit inside the card. Again, already prepared. Am I still in camera? Yep. Because I really should be doing this the other way up. Yep, I think that's going to be alright. I've shut the corner bit down, the tag down on this side. That's all right. And then just turn that upside down and take this bit off. I don't normally do that side first, but then when I'm at home doing this on my own, I can put my head as far forward as I like. Right, that's right, isn't it? I think that's all right. So all I need to do now is the sentiment, which is from a stamp set called Beautiful Bouquet, which is a current stamp set which is being carried forward to the new catalogue. Okay, so if we just move those out of the way, because I'm going to need to bring the big shot over in a jiffy. But first of all, let me just stamp the stamp. Did I still have this? Yes, I do have the stamp set here somewhere, but it's in this big pile over here for the blue ones. Okay, so Beautiful Bouquet. Right, and the ink. Oh, said I'd put it over there, didn't I, so that I didn't forget. Because this has got hair on it. So what I'll do is I will just ink it from down here, because the fluffy bits are up there. Right, I'm going to turn that sideways. I'm going to die cut this with an oval. There we go. This is a lovely idea for our new ink pads. Where you get the strip with the name, you also get a blank strip to put on the inside. Right, so I'll bring my big shot up. I'm using number 1 of my layering oval dies, the straight cut, and I'm also using number 1 on the scalloped framelits. They call yes, they are framelits. So first of all, for the happy birthday, I think this shaded spruce looks quite like Tranquil Tide. I'm going to have a look at that. It would explain why I like the shaded spruce, because I like the Tranquil Tide as well. Right, that will do nicely. Oops, no it won't. Not with that sticking out. Let's try that again. So that's the sentiment. That's the layer. We don't need the big shot again. Short but sweet. So I'm just going to pop this on with Tombow. That looks as if I may have put on too much Tombow. So I'm just going to blot it on my piece of scrap paper. And then I'm going to pop it onto the crumb cake layer. Oh, you know why? Can you see what I've done? I've got some green ink here, and I've done that because there was ink on my tweezers. So what I'm going to do is I will finish this off, but then I will redo another one once I finish the video, and I will put it on top and stick it on top so you can't be seen. There will be a photograph of this on my blog. This is going to be, the video will be posted on Wednesday, which will be what, the 21, 22, 23rd of May. So if you look at my blog on 23rd of May, you'll see that I have actually corrected that. Alright, make a note where I've got all the designs so I don't try cheating. Right, what do we need now? Some dimensionals. I'm going to use the little ones. Well, this will certainly help to clean my tweezers. I don't know if you can see the green ink on the back ends there. In fact, let me just, before I do have a real accident. Right, let's try that. Right, just going to pop that into the centre. In fact, I might pop it to the side. I know that's how Gina Kay did hers, off to the side. And it does help to cover that tree up, doesn't it? So, there we go. There's today's project. I hope you like it, and as always, I really hope you give it a try. Okay, so you've got several different options there of what you can do. Let me see if I can just zoom you out a little bit without touching the wrong button and just switching you off. There we go, that's fine. Okay, so 4 cards, and before I finish, there was the beautiful bouquet stamp set where I got the oops. That is where the sentiment is from, so that's one stamp set. There was High Tide that I used, and that was for the waders on there. The birds are in the corner up there on that one as well. The lighthouse, that one. And I used Dragonfly Dreams, so I used the bee on that one and that one, and also that dragonfly I used on there. Are you still in picture? Nope. Oh, that's going to be better. Let me put you side by side. Yep. Oh, that's better. Okay, so that's the big dragonfly, but I didn't use it on that one. Touches of texture. I used the little dragonflies on there and there. And that was all I used on that one. And then the best birds, I've used that one there, but I didn't use the bird on this one. But the branches, oops, that one, that one, that one and that one, they're all from here. And I added that on, that bit there, that little bit there, there and there. And Mediterranean Moments. So that's the one with the scooter in it, that one. And the little cafe is that one and that one. So they were all the stamp sets. I will put a list of these in the box below the video. Like I will put all the measurements and the products that I've used. They'll all be down below there. There'll also be a place where you can leave your comments, whether you have questions or you just have comments to make. I do like to read them. And if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by just clicking on the subscribe button. In the box below there will be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. By the way, sorry, I forgot to say, but the ribbon that I've used is a retired ribbon. It's Crumb Cake, but it was retired some time ago, but it was in my stash. I would have preferred to have used the green and the navy, but I didn't have it. But whatever you have. Apart from that and those dark blue things, everything else is available in my shop. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.